Sawadee krap, I'm JP Mestanza, and it's Monday, December 1st. Today marks the release of the latest edition of our lifestyle magazine, Window on Phuket. Grab your copy at locations around the island. You're watching Phuket Xtra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. Phuket's long-discussed cannabis control zone remains in limbo, with no timeline or draft rules on the table, despite repeated meetings between provincial agencies and the private sector.
The Phuket Tours Association says business leaders continue to urge national authorities to reclassify cannabis as a Category 5 narcotic, arguing this would not affect licensed growers or medical use, but would give police stronger tools against illegal sellers, including arrest and asset seizure. They warn that Phuket's growing image as a, quote, cannabis capital risks deterring families and high-spending visitors, though none made comments about any of the bars or the rampant sexual soliciting done at several alcohol establishments across the island. At a recent session at Provincial Hall chaired by Phuket MP Chalampang Sangdi, officials reiterated the goal of a balanced framework, protect public health and tourism while preserving access for legitimate medical use. Vice Governor Aldul Chutong, the Phuket Public Health Office, police and industry representatives joined the discussion. The Phuket Health Office reported 1,546 licensed cannabis shops island-wide. Current enforcement relies on the Thai Traditional Medicine Cannabis Control and Promotion Act and a 2025 public health notification that bans smoking in shops and near schools, temples, and hospitals. Authorities acknowledge that gaps remain, especially around public consumption in tourist-heavy areas on the island, fueling calls for clearer rules or tougher national measures. The Joint Public-Private Consultative Committee has backed reclassification since the previous appointed governor's term. Any change ultimately rests with the National Narcotics Committee, not in Phuket. For now, provincial, quote, zoning is still being, quote, considered, with no update on when concrete regulations might emerge. For Phuket residents and visitors, officials stress the immediate priorities: no smoking inside cannabis shops or near sensitive sites. Expect stepped-up checks in busy districts and report violations to local authorities. For small businesses trying to stay compliant, clearer guidance can't come soon enough. For more, visit thephuket.news.com.
Phuket City Police say they will keep traffic barriers removed at the busy Koh Kaew U-turn for now, after a trial showed clearer roads and safer flow on Satri Road toward Phuket town.
Police Chief Police Colonel Chatri Chukeo told the Phuket News the barriers installed ahead of peak season in coordination with the Highways Department, they were temporarily taken out on July 1st for a 14-day test. With 2 lanes reopened in both directions, congestion eased significantly. Travel from Phuket town through Koh Kaew intersection to the airport, authorities say, dropped from over an hour to about 20 minutes. Recognizing motorists' frustration with chronic delays, Police Colonel Chatri said that safety remains the priority. The original barriers were meant to reduce crashes at the U-turn, but data indicate relatively fewer vehicles use this turn compared with others along the route. Officials believe that restoring lane capacity has improved both traffic flow and safety. The change is still considered temporary, while police and the Highways Department continue to monitor conditions and crash data. No formal complaints have been received so far. Authorities say effective traffic management is essential to Phuket's quality of life and its reputation as an international destination, making it easier for residents, workers, and visitors to move around the island safely and on time. Though there were no discussions or talk about anything that Bangkok has been doing to help the situation. For more, visit thephuket.news.com.
Thailand's Ministry of Public Health says 170 people have died and 102 have been injured in the severe flooding across 8 southern Thai provinces.
In Songkhla, where reports have varied widely, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Sakta Alapech, clarified that 131 deaths were reported, but only 65 have confirmed as flood-related so far, with 11 attributed to medical conditions and the remainder under forensic review. He reiterated the figure after further questioning, noting investigations are ongoing. Amid grief and uncertainty, pressure is mounting for accountability. Activist lawyer Ronarong Kaupech is urging affected residents, especially in Hat Yai, to consider legal action against state agencies over delayed warnings and alleged mismanagement of flood controls. He argues that if evidence shows late alerts, poorly maintained drainage, clogged canals, or malfunctioning pumps worsen the disaster, the state could be liable for compensation. Scholars say the crisis also exposes deeper structural issues. Decades of centralized bureaucracy have slowed decisions and hampered coordination, leaving fast-growing cities like Hat Yai vulnerable without substantive administrative reform. Here in Phuket, the community is mobilizing to help. A 16-truck convoy of relief supplies departed Provincial Hall at about 9 a.m. on Friday, carrying rice, dried foods, drinking water, basic medicines, and daily essentials to hard-hit areas in the lower south. Vice Governors Aldu Chutong and Suit Pansengyam thanked the government offices, local administrations, private partners, and volunteers for coordinating rapid deliveries. Officials say Phuket stands in solidarity with flood-affected families and hopes the situation stabilizes soon. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
Two separate drowning tragedies were reported over the weekend on Phuket's west coast.
Late Saturday morning, a British tourist, 37-year-old Jason Mark Lambert, got into difficulty while swimming at Freedom Beach. Beach guards brought him ashore and performed first aid, but he was later pronounced dead. Police say Mr. Lambert had been holidaying with his family since November 19th and was staying in Patong. An autopsy was conducted at Patong Hospital in line with standard procedure. No foul play is suspected. Meanwhile, on Sunday, a 69-year-old Russian man, identified as Sergei Lunkin, was pulled from the water off Kalim Beach after an apparent drowning. Lifeguards and rescuers performed CPR before he was rushed to Patong Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A friend of his told police he swam most mornings and may have been caught by a strong current. The case will proceed with a medical examination at Vashida Phuket Hospital, and the Russian embassy has been notified. Authorities expressed condolences to both families. With shifting currents and occasional rough seas along Phuket's west coast, especially around headlands like Freedom and Kalim, officials remind residents and visitors to heed lifeguard instructions, observe beach flags, swim only in patrolled zones, and avoid the water when conditions are unsafe. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
Thirapong Choi Chu will officially step in as the Phuket Vice Governor today, succeeding Samawit Supampai, who has been transferred to Nakhon Pathom Province.
It's a homecoming of sorts. Mr. Thirapong is a longtime Phuket administrator, previously serving as Katu District Chief and later as the Phuket Provincial Palad, the Chief Administrative Officer. Speaking with the Phuket News, he thanked residents for their trust and said he's ready to do everything he can to deliver results under the Phuket Governor's direction. He provided public input and provided a contact number for suggestions, underscoring an open-door approach. Mr. Thirapong brings broad interior ministry experience with past postings in Nakhon Si Thammarat's Phak Phanang, in Suratani's Koh Samui, and Patalung's Pa Bon. In 2022, he received the Diamond Ring District Chief Award for alleviating hardship and resolving local issues in Phak Phanang. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
Thailand's Culture Minister Sabida Thaiset officially opened the Thailand Biennale 2025 at Sapan Hin, launching a 5-month contemporary arts festival that officials say could draw over 3 million visitors and generate over 30 billion baht for the economy.
Senior dignitaries, diplomats, curators, and artists joined the ceremony, including Deputy Interior Minister Sasitorn, Governor Nirat, PPAO President Rewat, and Phuket Art Association President Anchali Vanij-Tepbuter, running November 29th until April 30th of next year under the theme Eternity Kalpa. The Biennale features works by 65 artists and collectives from 25 countries across 19 venues island-wide, among them the Pearl Theatre and former Pearl Cinema, Ban Pra Aram, the Phuket Contemporary Art Gallery, DC Phuket Town, the Sapan Hin Mangroves, Lemprom Tep in the south, and the Katu Shrine. 13 pavilion projects, such as the Andaman, Lana, and Instant Cal pavilions, embed installations into Old Town streetscapes and landmark beaches, turning real city spaces into living galleries. Organizers also unveiled Bian Phu, the Lucky Bat, the festival mascot, presenting 10 limited figurines and artworks to sponsors to support arts programming. Only 19 figurines exist. 9 remain available via the Phuket Art Association. For Phuket residents and visitors, the Biennale is more than a spectacle. It spreads cultural activity beyond traditional halls, supports local creatives, and aims to position Phuket as a world art tourism destination while offering reflective spaces for families and travelers to engage with art, place, and memory across the island. For more, visit thephuketnews.com.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Phuket Extra, brought to you by pvcphuket.com. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, Stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000, and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks-and-mortar investment, offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.